All right. As I indicated in my test video that I put up a few days ago, Cup of Linux will be returning the second week of September. I still have some work to do before I can get my new hardware show worthy. And speaking of new hardware, I want to thank the Cup of Linux community, namely Joe Johnson, for donating a ThinkPad workstation, which enabled me to be able to bring 1080p to the table. My old equipment got moisture damage because of Florida's heat down here, so I was unable to do any video production for some time, so we really appreciate that, Joe Johnson. Thank you so much. And I also want to extend a thanks to everybody in the community, and there are way too many of you to mention, who have made all sorts of contributions to help keep the Cup of Linux servers alive. During the time the show was down, we were still able to give people help with Linux, and that is a wonderful thing. And speaking of contributors, I've got a contributor with me right now in this special edition of Cup of Linux, and this is something many of you guys have been waiting for. Today we are looking at the Manjaro Cup of Linux edition, version 18.9.1. And guess what, kids? I didn't build it. We've got a new maintainer here at Cup of Linux for the Manjaro Cup of Linux edition, and I have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ben Fitzpatrick. How you doing, Ben?
I am fine and staying alive, Spatry.
You're going to be dead meat when I get through with you. I just looked at this distribution, buddy, and let me tell you, what did you do to my distro?
I made it a heck of a lot better for you.
Ben, you're fired. Just
oh
kidding.
my god.
Okay, now, basically, kids, what we have here, and basically what this looks like, Ben, is you just updated this. You pretty much kept the same themes that I had before, and well, tell us what you did with this.
Okay, what I initially did was I started from a bare bones Manjaro, stock thing, and I downloaded the themes, the whole 9 yards, the panel settings, everything, and I copied a lot of it from the old one, and I just put it into the stock Manjaro, change the settings to how you have it, everything.
Okay, right now I'm looking at Firefox, and that has always shipped with MCOL. And it looks like you've got it exactly the way it was in the last release. So for those of you who are coming over to Manjaro build, this has the Cup of Linux search and the Cup of Linux troubleshooter, and this is amazing because it searches many of the Arch-based websites for solutions to issues that you may have, and it's a great way to support Cup of Linux too. Now, something else I'd like to mention is that this is a very bare bones setup. You don't have a whole lot in terms of applications installed, and this was done deliberately, okay? So in the graphics tools section here on the menu, you're going to see that there is Events Document Viewer, and that's it. For internet, you've got Firefox, Mumble for coming in to chat with us, and then, of course, for those of you who absolutely have to have an email client, Sylpheed is thrown in. Personally, I don't use them. I prefer the web-based emails myself. Okay, and multimedia, you get MPV. Guess what, kids? That's all I use for listening to audio and playing videos. MPV is my... And it's so lightweight, too. You can do all kinds of really neat things with it. And then, of course, Orage, which comes standard with XFCE. Pretty much very lightweight. And for those of you who have the muscle on your machine, Compiz is thrown in with my very own personal settings for for all the eye candy and special effects. And the only thing that is missing from my personal settings is that in the pictures folder is the 3D model for the cup and the graphics and that sort of thing. But if you decide you want those settings, you can get them from the forum at Cup of Linux. In the Compiz Reloaded section, there's an area where you can download those extra features and get them in here. Ben, all I can say is this looks magnificent. You did a wonderful job on this, and give your soul to Jesus, because your butt now belongs to the Cup of Linux community, because now whenever somebody complains about this distro, I'm going to send them to you.
That's not a problem, Spatry. I have no problem supporting anybody.
Actually, of course, I'm going to continue supporting this, and we've got an excellent staff at cupoflinux.com, and we're always happy to help people if they have any issues with the distribution and that sort of thing. So, but I'm just glad that we have somebody like you to step up to the plate. I know we've got some other things coming up. I'm going to eventually need to get somebody to, and that's one of the reasons why things slowed down at Cup of Linux, is because we had a lot of good ideas that were coming to the table, and everybody thinks it's a good idea, but I can't do all this stuff myself. I needed people to step up to do things. Like we're going to be looking for somebody to take over game night. We have some other ideas on the table as well. So there will be things coming up, and hopefully we'll get more people to volunteer in the community and that sort of thing. So, Ben, you did a fabulous job on this. I can't wait for people to download this and try it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ISO image uploaded to SourceForge so people can download. And do you have anything else you want to add to this before closing?
Sure. I would say that, this was out of love for everybody, Spatry, the community, the Linux community. I wanted to help Spatry out and hope you guys love it, enjoy it, and I will continue to update this as on many machines as I can, and hope you guys enjoy it, and like I said, and get downloading.
And you said you wanted to give a greet to somebody who helped you with this.
Yes,
Who was that?
that reminds me. Thank you so very much to my best friend TJ Wolf for the help with the Firefox settings and a lot of the distro as well. Thank you, TJ. You're a great friend. And thank you very much also to Matt for help with the Hackman Linux. Kudos to you, my man.
See, this is what happens when the community gets together and everybody contributes. Some good stuff comes to the table. So I can't wait for you guys to download this and give it a shot. All right, so stick around, kids. We will be back the second week of September, and I think the first show I'm going to do is the guy that donated this computer, he likes to use Solus, so I think I'm going to look at his favorite OS, and then we're going to have Mint Mate and some other fun stuff coming up. So it'll be well worth checking out in the near future. So until then, peace out.